Welcome to Shop Talk, where you get my honest opinion on current events, life, and sports. Let's get into it. Um, this month is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Um, I'm pretty sure this is near and dear to a lot of us. Um, Mental health is becoming a real thing. It seems like it's becoming something essential that has to be maintained from time to time, especially in this country with everything we're dealing with. We have to check on one another, make sure that if people are having different episodes, you point them in the right direction with different hotlines and crisis hotlines and everything else like that. Because suicide rates, they gonna always be on her riding, especially in times of need where people are striving to just make ends meet. And so just think that the toll that it takes on a person's mental when you can't provide and stuff like that. You know, when you can't feed yourself, you don't know where your next dollar coming from. And you know, as a man, you know they figure, okay, well, you're a man, just figure it out. You know, you don't really get to go and wallow in pity. You have to make a way out of no way. So I think this month is a big month for guys to just recalibrate, see what your next move gonna be. We know nothing don't happen overnight, but over time things can get better. But mental health is a real thing. Speaking of mental health, the phone call that we heard, well, the messages or whatever, with Sauce Walker, you know, no man should really be talking to a woman like that in that manner, especially if you're not with the woman anymore. You can't control a woman once you're not with her no more. Yes, y'all share a child or whatever, but once, and it seemed as though it's a certain guy y'all have disdain for. And once she told you who it was, that's what made you go into a whole nother mode. And that's the thing where I say, we gotta be able to understand that a woman is not our possession. It's not our property. You don't pay property taxes on her and stuff like that. We have to have respect for women all across the board. As the mother of our kids, whether they're aunt, their niece, their mother, their daughter, we have to make sure our mental is in the right place. When you're making threats like that, that getting to the wrong person's hands, they could file charges against you, and you're looking at a serious case. Especially with a child, you're looking at child endangerment and things of that nature. So ain't telling her, what you're gonna do to her, what already happened. You're kind of incriminating yourself over a phone call. Drake gets under everybody's skin for whatever reason. But people just have a certain disdain for Drake, because Drake is a ladies' man, and he gets around. And guys figure that maybe they think they're really serious partners or something like that, not realizing y'all didn't grow up with each other. Y'all kind of met through the industry, and this wicked industry that they're in. And so you guys, when you find out he's messing with someone that you were with at one point, you just like going to this sense of rage. It's like, I guess I can't believe he done that, but man, this guy's the latest, man. At the end of the day, one of the biggest artists in the world, if not the. So, he obviously he got people coming out of retirement. When they hear his balls towards them, Jay-Z is one of them. I was a huge fan of Jay-Z. Still a fan of his music. But I think in this situation, Jay is out of touch. He came on stage with a tone deaf mentality. I don't know. Maybe Jay feel like we owe him something, and in all actuality, Jay, you owe us something. It seems as though the allure is gone. Sometimes you could be a victim of your own past. You could be a victim of your own past because you just can't get past guys lapping you and someone else coming along and having that same impact like you. You know, it's a lot of people you've had issues with, but he do a lot of behind the scenes things. You undermine us with the white community, for as you know, you come to us to sell us something, we buy into it, and you sell it off to the same people that you say you have an issue with. You know, you can no longer manipulate the black community, man. And it seemed as though they must have spit him up and chewed him out, because it seemed like Jay back working. You know, I know people were saying, you know, he dissed a lot of people, and, you know, that wasn't the Jay that I knew. That's not the Jay that I know. I kind of found it funny when I saw him at the Super Bowl and he had the sweat on like the game needed me. I'm like, I know Jay not about to come back and start rapping. I mean, I don't want to put an age limit on rap, because I know a few years ago you were saying I don't feel the urge to because I don't have nothing to talk about. So it's like, why all of a sudden? It's because Iceman has lapped him. He's put all the millions on him, and it didn't work. You know, just a few months ago in a GQ interview, you were saying how battle rap hurts the culture. Is we should be past that. And this past Saturday, you were there dissing Drake, Dame Dash, Oskino, Ye, everyone you could think of, Jaguar, right? Because those same crackers you freestyled about, y'all all in the Epstein files. Y'all all running the same circles. There's footage of you with them. There's footage of you with Uncle Luke, with some young underage girls. You have kids that you don't claim, and you expecting to reap the benefit of going forward with the blessing of God in your life. Your ideology, man. You know, the behind the scene things that Nicki exposed you for is coming to light. One thing about a person who loves to live in the dark, they can't stand the light, because that's what they're running from. It's more like they're a gargoyle, or more like a vampire. They don't want to see the light, because you have dark and twisted ways about you. You're a manipulator. And so once a person see you for who you are and not for who they want you to be, it's hard to take off the blindfold. I was one of them. It's hard to take the blindfold off, because how we adored you and how we looked up to you. So now when you're on stage talking about they looked up to me, I never looked up to them. What? Jay, you're almost 60 years old. You're talking about a man that's 39 years old. Yeah, is younger. Everyone is younger than you that you're having issues with. It's like you never wanted no one to be in the number one spot but you. Look, I guess you made it right with Beanie. I saw Beanie up there with you. It's like you do certain things and people just still holding you in high regards. Like, oh man, that's Jay. Yeah, I know. But you're doing things, man, to, well, you're hurting other people's careers behind the scenes, and people still having admiration for you. They're like, okay, where's this coming from? It's always love when I see him. You know, it's always good vibes and stuff like that. So you catch people off guard when they don't realize you have a disdain for them. You co-sign Kendrick Lamar being on that Super Bowl stage, calling that man something you know he's not, defaming him. Even in your interview, you say you shouldn't be putting that jacket on somebody if you don't know that's. But it's always projecting when it's actually really from you. You know, you have so many skeletons and allegations that you have to fight. that you out there projecting, man. The distraction's not working. No one is actually falling for it no more, man. And the allure is really gone. When he dipped his foot in the water Saturday, he found out. And so it's sad to see for Jay. It really is. You know, with Dame Dash, can we start putting respect on this man's name? Why do black people sit in the comments and call Dame Dash a pioneer broke all day long? Why is that like one of our favorite words in our vocabulary, not mine, in the vocabulary, for black people to call black people broke amongst each other all day long? That's all you see in the comments. Oh, Dame broke. Dame broke. Dame lives a lavish life. He's a free man. He's still making an honest living for his family. And black people still finding narratives to push about this man. But there's real allegations for these people that undermine his name, like a Charlemagne and Jay and all these people, TDE. Y'all have all these allegations. Y'all could be trying to figure out what's going on, but yet and still we sit and talk about how Dame should stop. I wish Dame would start. You know what? I'm gonna stop talking about G. I wish he can. At some point we'll just say, listen, man, if it's gonna be about G, I said what I had to say. I said I moved on. One soundbite people in here was in the beginning of the interview. Dame said, I still look at Jay as my brother. Get that context clue. I know a lot of people may have struggled with context clues. That's one of the first things Dame said. I still look at Jay as my brother. When he was describing Jay, and he said, who signed off on the help and stuff like that, and he bought the Little Caesar with the Yankee. That's the allure I know him for. But the whole time you've been undermining the black community. Right when we get another verdict of not guilty of a young man being killed behind a bottle of water. I'm sick of us turning our cheek. Black people are the first original people. That's why we have so much. Everything derives from black people. Everything. So if you can't control the history and all that, and you're not the original people, you would whitewash everything. Because a world where y'all not in control, you can't see it, you can't fathom it. That's why you still have demonic ways about yourself. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed from the civil rights era and all that. Everything is the same. They found a way to implement slavery without saying it's slavery with the currency and the workforce, how they exploit it. If a job called for 30 to pay, they'll say, tell them do it for the 15. Notice how it's not even affordable to live. Everything is a scam. Why we can't have certain things that we send to other countries? Our tax dollars. Free healthcare. Free college. No one should be in the workforce over 60 years old. That's how rich this country is. No one should be in the workforce over 60 years old. It's a rigged game. That's how I look at it. That's why I'm not a gambler. It's a rigged game. Speaking of New York, the New York Knicks, game 1 tonight. First time in 27 years they've been in the finals, going against Wembanyama and the Spurs, the OKC Thunder. You got to do something about Chet. If you could get Giannis, I would get Giannis. But he's not going to get better. That's who he is. I think you jumped out there too early paying these guys. Jalen Williams, he didn't play. Y'all done attributed almost $540 million between just them two guys. Over $500 million between them two. Shea earned his money. Shea back-to-back MVP. He earned his money. I think they pay him all potential. That's how our contract is worded and stuff like that. So, but if you could get Giannis, I would ship Chet out there tomorrow. He's not gonna get better. I mean, Shea outplayed Wemby in Game 7 as well. Wemby supporting cast was the reason they beat the Thunder. To me, it's my honest opinion on Wemby. He's just raw talent right now. I know people, he's 7'4", and you talk about him like he best thing since. I don't see it. He don't have a face-up game. I don't know if he won't be a guard, he won't be a center or whatever. I don't see it yet. I mean, he has a lot of holes in his game. I saw a play where he almost tore his knee up. You know, that's the thing San Antonio got. If he get hurt in this series, y'all losing. Because the Knicks have a starting five and they have a bench. And their bench is more like a starting five. So, to me, maybe it's the allure of him just being a tall guy or whatever, and we don't really see that too much. But I mean, I think Kevin Durant's a 7-footer, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he want people to know that. But I definitely don't see the Kevin Durant type ball game. But it should be an interesting series. I think the Knicks, you're on an 11-game win streak. You haven't really lost in 2 months. So I think it's going to be a great series. I'm looking forward to watching these games. Man, that verdict, man, with that 14-year-old child, I mean, you know, like I said, I saw someone and I commented on it. I said, you know, man, you need to be dealt with streetwise. You know what I'm saying? Somebody reported my comment, but I mean, man, it's like they treating us like cattle. You know, they just treat us like cattle. You know, like we really a commodity. You know, look at what's going on with the gerrymandering and everything. I think yesterday they passed another bill in Alabama where the gerrymandering, you got rid of another black majority district. So the goal of the CIA was for America to never have a black messiah. They killed all the black leaders, the Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, James Baldwin. You know, the list goes on and on. They killed black leaders because they definitely don't want a black person that's gonna lead their people like a Harriet Tubman. And so the discourse all year round and all year long, for decades at a time, that's the government implementing their plan. It's working. It's systemic. People can't even take a day off from work now. That's how bad it's done got. And people still losing jobs. You know, we bickering back and forth with one another on the internet, not realizing, man, the game is rigged against us. Everybody is extracting from the workforce. You know, and we seeing coon after coon, races after races. You know, they getting paid. You know, but one thing I know about doing a deal with the devil is lose-lose. So that's the thing that's the thing we get from having free will is lose-lose. So you make your decision, what you want to do. But when you do that deal with the devil, it's lose-lose. So I'm not living my life in fear. I'm gonna raise, man, my wife will raise our kids, be respectful, mannerful, but any kind of smoke behind my kids, we ain't tripping. And that's how we should be behind our kids now. Because the judicial system is not our friend. Especially in certain parts of the South. Well, the whole South is like, it's like where racism originated. It's like this was the foundation. And so, Civil War and slavery and all that stuff there, we really need our own liberation on all parts of this planet. We need our own liberation. We don't have no allies. I notice a lot of people, content creators, especially the white ones, y'all always have a new batch of white people y'all want to lead us. It's always a new batch. And we telling y'all we don't trust them. And he's still talking, okay, what about this ticket for 2020? How you going to look 2 years from now? We don't even know what the next hour going to hold. Next week. And we talking about something for 2 years. Everything we have is digital. America's already been hacked. The national security is bust wide open. All they have is corruption at the top level. Nothing is safe. Nothing is sacred right now in America. Every system could be shut down by a button. This is a real coup. Because they don't want to come off the power. It's a shadow government running this place. He don't run this place. He's not even the real president. He never won any election. And so this war is about enriching themselves, killing our kids, like it has always been. You're talking about celebrating the 250th anniversary of America, but 226 years you've been at war. America loves war because it enriches them, the elites, the billionaires. That's why they have a thirst for war. Global trafficking of kids and war. That's how America has always made its money. And that's why I say a reckoning has to happen. It has to. I mean, you could talk till you blue in the face. I mean, at some point, violence has to happen. So, people say the tongue is powerful. There's violence in the Bible. Some people don't understand it till you have to show them. Like, all right, I ain't going. I've been on this earth for decades. I ain't never been scared. So, I mean, I have a household to protect. So, doubling back to our mental health being right. I take on the arm of Malcolm X sometime by any means necessary. We don't want the watered down news no more. We want the real. Tell us what's real. People still getting killed. People still not being fed. Homelessness through the roof. You're trying to make that a crime. This part of civilization has to be reset. This is too much evil in this part of humanity. It's because white people can't see a world where they're not in control. It scares them. And so when you stop them doing one thing, they're already on to the next. They don't stop doing evil. So your mental health is always have to be conditioned for the times that we living in. I'm going to keep the faith. Without everything, I'm going to keep the faith. As I know something is going to happen because people can't keep living like this. People just can't keep living like this. You know, can you imagine what the crisis hotline looking like right now? You know, and they think just because people is spending money, they have money. Well, with this economy, I mean, it's really in the trash. Gas for my car, I'm actually almost at $5. That's 93. So, long as the gas is high, I mean, they're making money. And that's the game. So, I would say, as always, have compassion for one another. All this stuff shall pass. Our liberation gonna come from us. Actually unifying and saying we gonna take care of one another. We gonna take care of the community. One more infiltrators. No, you gotta be about our business. We don't need infiltrators. That's the problem. You know, they get one or two. I saw Smackwater talking about that yesterday. You get one or two that they could point out that's doing good, and they would consider that progress. Like you said, you get too comfortable. Once you get a certain status in life, a person to get comfortable, and they actually forget who they are till they spit them back out. So, I'm signing off. Like, follow, and subscribe at Shop Talk 84 on YouTube. On X at contact_CEO. That's KONTACK_CEO. On Instagram, that's contact_CEO. That's KONTACK_CO. And to next week, Godspeed.